Hello and welcome to the Know and Play Space YouTube. I'm Becca and today I am not in the playroom. However, I am bringing you a new playroom tour. This is all about the play space that we have had in February and the toys and resources that we've had out on the play shelves. At the moment, little one is napping and Mr. 3 is playing downstairs. So I thought I'll quickly just come into a quiet space in the house to film this intro. I hope that you really enjoy the video. I hope that you find it really useful. I know that lots of you love seeing kind of what we've got out on the play shelves in a bit more detail, and me kind of talking through why we've got it out as well. So if you've got any questions, do feel free to leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe this video at the end if you haven't already. Enjoy it and I'll see you afterwards. Okay, so I'm starting today's rotation with a smoothie chili tom on me. So hopefully this all goes okay and goes smoothly. But this is our current playroom situation. This is this month's rotation. We're doing a little bit of an animal theme at the moment with our play activities, and so I have put some animal bits out to go with that. And I'm going to start over here today. So this is a new little space that I've created for kind of this rotation. We call it our maker space. Mr. 3 has been really into kind of making cars, making junk models, and so this is a little space set up for him to be able to do that. So it starts off, this is an IKEA pegboard here. It's got some little pots with things that he can stick on. I've got some stickers in here, all of these are animally themed, and then some googly eyes in case that he wanted to create kind of his own little creatures. Some tape and string. He loves tying things up, taping them together. And then over here is some cutting strips. He's actually used most of these, but these are just from my website. You've seen these before probably in rotations. He loves those, but animally themed ones this time. And then in this basket down here is just a basket full of things that he can use for junk modelling. And then over here, this is just little kind of, I don't know, it's like a desk tidy. I actually got this free outside a charity shop, which is brilliant, and cleaned it up, and it's great. It kind of, yeah, does exactly what we need it to do. He's got a clipboard in case we're working on the floor, spare bits of card that have just come from other things that we've done, but I've just kept them. This is one of those kind of LED writing pads, and then a notebook in here. And then over here, we've got felt tips. These are completely washable, which is why he's allowed to access them. The only two things that aren't actually are these two, which is a special pen that he got given and a pencil that's a Christmas pencil that he can't seem to part with at the moment. But yeah, he's amazing. He's never, ever, ever drawn on anything that he shouldn't do. But most of the time I only have like washable things that he can have self-access to, but those two things aren't there. These are just some jumbo crayons. Punches, he absolutely loves these. You just put paper in them and then it punches out the shape. So just 3 of those on there. Scissors, these are just normal scissors here. And then these are ones that kind of cut different types of lines. Is it going to focus on those? And those have been interesting because they're a bit more challenging than normal scissors. So that's been interesting this time round. A glue stick, and then in here are just paint sticks, again, washable paint sticks. And then this is something new that I've introduced, is a tape dispenser. As I said, he loves creating models. He is big into treasure maps and rolling things up and sticking them together. So obviously this is sharp, but I've taught him how to use it and how to use it safely. And so I'm happy that he kind of uses that independently when he needs to. And then these drawers have got paper. So this is just coloured paper, A3 paper, white paper. This in here has got, this is kind of lovely animal print paper. You can see it's been punched out in here. Just like different bits of kind of creative things to use really. And then this is just a glue tub. So it's just a double kind of takeaway tub. Got a little pot of PVA glue and a stick in there that he can come and use. The tiny pot obviously means it's only got a tiny amount of PVA glue, so he can't make a big mess even if he is completely independent, because there's only such a small amount in there. So that's a good tip if you want to increase independence without the mess, is just give a really tiny amount. Stamps are in here, so these are something new that we have got over the last couple of weeks. These are letter stamps in here. that I actually got off Vinted because I particularly wanted letter stamps that are the correct formation. So these are Jolly Phonics. They are by Early Learning Centre, but are a very, very old set. But they are absolutely brilliant. Oops, just dropped one there. So it's a letter stamp that when you push it down, a little word comes up. Obviously you can't read that, but it's good to show that the stamp's gone down enough. And it's got the letter on there that you just use. So these have been brilliant because since we've started our kind of phonics and sounds, he is loving mark making, but he's also wanting to do the correct formation of letters when he's writing things, but he's not quite ready to do that yet himself physically, where he's only 3. And so having letter stamps means that he can print the sound that he's looking for his writing, which is brilliant. And similarly with the numbers, sometimes he'll be counting and he'll want to write the number but can't yet. And so having number stamps has given him that access to be able to, represent the number, but without having to write it himself. So these were just off Amazon, but again, are the correct formation. So I tried really hard to kind of look for ones that are the correct formation. The only one is the 9. You have to make sure that it is obviously got the stick down rather than being on the slant. So how I've written it is the correct way up, so that he does get the stick down that's straight for the 9 there. But they were the best set that I could find that was kind of the correct formation of the numbers. So that's in there. And then this is our Melissa and Doug kind of reusable sticker pad. I've taken out the farm and the dinosaurs and the ocean, and he's just got the wild animals in this one at the moment, just for our kind of animal theme. And yeah, that's our little kind of maker's space. And then when you come over here, we've got our sound washing line where we've been doing our phonics. You've probably seen on my Instagram. If not, you'll find it in his Mr. 3's highlight on the stories of what we've kind of been doing for our sound of the week. A little table space, and then underneath there's actually shelving under here at the moment. One of them's empty, and sometimes shelves are empty, and that's okay. I try not to have too much out, and so sometimes things do stay empty. And this is just musical instruments over here. And then on the end we have got animally themed books, some fiction, some non-fiction, and then behind is his learning journal that we stick all of the kind of things and photos that we've done this season. Over here is baby R's space, so it's kind of sectioned off deliberately so that he can freely move within here. The bouncer doesn't normally stay there if he's in there. But he can freely move without being trampled on by his bigger brother, who is fast and energetic. So this gives him a really nice little safe space that's designed for him. A little shelf. This has got extra resources in this basket, nappy changing bits. Some photo frames that come down onto the floor. This beautiful book, which maybe I'll share about more on my Instagram another time, but I had that when I was a baby, and I managed to find him a new copy, which was so special. So that's up there, and then this actually turns around, it's so cool. And it's got all of the rattles and the little bits and bobs that he can fiddle with at the moment. Down here are the sensory bottles that Mr. 3 made for Baby R that you'll see on my Instagram. And then this is his fish bubble lamp that we can turn on and off. This is then his large play gym. This is from Jacob's Montessori. They kindly sent it to us, and it has been one of my absolute favourite baby items this time round. So would definitely recommend getting a really large play gym so that you can hang all sorts of mobiles from them. I popped mirrors along the wall. I don't know if this space was here last time I actually videoed. But yeah, so I put mirrors all the way down, all along the bottom so that he can see, and then our mirror balls are from Ticket. I love those, they're one of my favourite baby resources as well. And yeah, then over here is another shelf for Mr. 3. So on top I've put just a little invitation to play. Sometimes it helps to just set up little bits and bobs to get children started and inspired into their play. So these kind of rock sets and grass sets, they're from Cozy. They kindly sent those to us. I think it was a giveaway that we did with those, and we got part of those, so that was really nice of them to send them to us. They've been fab for our annual theme. And then on the shelf in the middle, these are from Hope Education. There are unit blocks. Unit blocks basically means that they are in the same size in relation to each other, so that they're really great for early building in particular. Sorry, I'm out of breath going up and down with a baby on my chest. Then I have done a few tray jobs this rotation, but he's just not as interested in tray jobs and kind of choosing them on his own as he used to be when he was a lot younger. So I've limited these this time and just put out activities that actually we were going to do together anyway, or have done, and he might want to repeat. So this one on here is a puzzle where you have to look at the animal skin and the animal print and then match it to the animal, and that links to an activity that we've already done together. This is just more wild animals in there. All of our animals are as realistic looking as possible. Some of them are Schleich, some of them are Papo, I think the other brand, and some of them, like this lion, I actually had as a child, so they're really old early learning centre animals. But yeah, so it's nice that he has the same animals that I used to play with. And then what's on this side? This side is a puzzle that I've mixed up from my website. Some pegging cards, counting and pegging cards, again they're from my website, and a count and sort game. So this is got little animals on there, again from my website, and all of those we've kind of done together, so I've just left them out so that he can have a go again on his own, or if sometimes he needs a little support with kind of what to do, maybe I'll pull one of those tray jobs out and then we can either do it together or he can do it on his own. So it's helpful to have some tray jobs, but there's definitely a lot less than I used to do for him. Okay, over here, this is our little kind of construction shelf. Paw Patrol tower in the corner. This crane he got for Christmas. It's by Hape. It's wooden and it has moving parts as well. He's loved that. It's been great for kind of all sorts of play. Over here, these are actually models that he's bought, models that he's built that I've then taken a picture of and stuck them up. And I'm going to post a little bit more about that on Instagram. But basically it's been really great for encouraging more independent play, because when he's built something, I've then, made a big deal over it and been like, wow, that's amazing. And I want to show that I value what he does when he's playing on his own. And so by having them kind of up on the wall, it's not only like inspiration for what he can do next time, but it's also showing that we really value them and value kind of what he's done when he's been on his own. That's been really great for kind of encouraging that independent play and not having an adult there all the time. Okay, so on the shelves, these are loose parts. They're just in the Guidecraft treasure tubes. This is new. I haven't done really loose parts with him as kind of self-access before. So this has needed a lot of modelling. Some children will naturally use loose parts within their play. It doesn't come so naturally to him at the moment, where he is only 3. And it's just, I suppose it's not something that he's kind of experienced before. So I've been doing lots of modelling that when we've made a model or we've made something together, I'll be like, oh, I wonder what we could use for this, or I wonder what we could use, or how could we decorate our model? And so we then would come and look and see like, oh, pom-poms would be really great for this, or, oh, look, let's add some buttons with the magnetic tiles, the magnetic counters onto the magnetic tiles and things. So that's something new, and I'll change those up, the kind of loose parts that are out when needed. These are yarn cones, again, if you've seen on my Instagram. It's a new resource that we've got that I was inspired by another account, and he has absolutely loved building massive towers with these, or using them as cones, to play games with and things. So yeah, they've been a really, really versatile resource. Really love those. This in here is an LED rope light, got a little remote, so this is great for kind of cause and effect. So obviously you can turn them on and you can change the different colours, kind of that early experience of technology really, but also to be able to kind of enhance the play with light. So I love those, and they've had lots of use. This down here is then kinetics. So these are all the magnetic tiles, again a bit like the wooden blocks. These are all front facing. It means that he can then easily choose the shape that he wants. And I've actually noticed that if I put them in a basket or a box and they're not front facing, he won't really choose them. Whereas when they're set out like this and really easily visible and really easy to choose from, he'll use them all the time. So same with the magnets really. You can really clearly see which shape you want to choose. And obviously it takes up more shelf space, but it's been so beneficial for his play, and something that I would definitely recommend if you've got the space is to have them front facing so you can see those shapes and they can then make those choices and decisions when they're making their models about which shape they need and can easily get that. In here is a little tray of kind of loose partsy bits again, balls for when we do ball runs. He loves using these as boulders in Paw Patrol missions and boulders falling down ramps and things, so balls have been a really kind of versatile and well used thing this rotation. CDs are great to pair with the yarn cones. They kind of make them more sturdy when you're stacking, so that's been really interesting. But we've also used them as like a pond or all sorts of things, and trying to show him, it's called symbolic play, when they use other resources as something else. And I've been trying to do lots of modelling of that, because again, some children that comes naturally to, some not so much. So, you know, us as the adult can model that, and that's what I've been doing with loose parts really. This is, it's actually just a, it's like an air vent ducting, it's called a ducting vent. It extends to like 2 meters, but it's amazing because it folds down so tiny. Great for ball runs. You know, probably continue recording. My iPhone just ran out of storage, so fingers crossed this is going to finish recording so I can finish the video. We don't have many wooden blocks. It's only one set, and where it's kind of like an early stage of usage. And so I've actually, sometimes we kind of run out of blocks when we're building, and so I've added these, which are from Ticket. They're beautiful because they've got the colours inside them, so that's just an extra set of blocks that when we've been doing lots of building this kind of month. And then this is more natural loose parts, so grass, artificial grass is obviously not natural, but it looks natural. Wood slices, and all sorts of kind of natural resources building in there. And then a remote control car, which he got for Christmas, which he's been loving, making ramps and things for. You again, you've probably seen on Instagram. And then over here, I'm going to talk quickly because I don't have much storage. This is just a cube set. Again, we use it for all sorts of building or sorting, popping things in and out. And then these are the open-ended drawers, which are always out. These don't ever get rotated. They are always things that he has available. I've done new labels this month, which look really lovely. So this has got just Small World characters in, Paw Patrol, roads and tracks, so Hot Wheels track and way to play roads, train track. This is trains and the bridges and stuff for the train track, so it's separate and easy to find which bits you need. Far too many cars. He's car obsessed, and everyone keeps buying him cars, or I've had loads from my classroom and things. So yeah, he doesn't need this many cars out, but if I try and put some away, he's then like, oh, where's that purple car with the yellow roof? And you think, oh gosh, you know, I just put that one away. So actually he's got all of the cars out at the moment because that's his thing, so that's okay. But other resources are often limited with kind of how many are out, just because it helps with tidying up really, and helps kind of not be so overwhelmed. But cars is not one of those things that's limited at the moment. And then this is kind of like our morning station. It's got our visual timetable down here, which we actually haven't needed to use as much recently because I think our days are so samey each. You know, we do have the kind of same routine each week, which is lovely on our days. So actually, it doesn't really change from what we do each week. So we haven't needed to use that as much recently, but it was so helpful when we started having more days at home. Mirror, just because I like having mirrors everywhere in the space, and it's just a nice way to start the morning. This is new, so we've actually introduced calendars. Not that obviously he has, you know, he can't do it himself, but what we were finding is that, you know, an event would be coming up and he'll be thinking, oh, it's tomorrow, or like it's a really hard concept for children to get, of that kind of yesterday, the day before, you know, the next day, next week, next month, in spring, in March. That, you know, time is really complex. So I think my iPhone is telling me I'm talking too much. It's just run out of storage again, so I'm really sorry that this is going to be a bitty video, and I'll try and round up as quick as I can. But yeah, I'll talk about the calendar and stuff more on my Instagram stories. So if you don't already follow me on Instagram if you're interested about more of how we kind of are doing the calendar and seasons and all that sort of stuff. This is our Love Every Weather board. We do this every single morning. It's a bit of a ritual. He absolutely adores it. And then this is just more visual timetable cards under here, and down here is our library books that stay in a separate basket. We go to the library probably every 2 weeks just to refresh that basket, but they stay there so that they don't get lost within all of our other books. And then these are from Cozy. These are just ramps, again, for kind of cars or balls or whatever. And then last little bit is around here. This is our Good Evas pickler, and all the other bits are actually under the sofa, so like the ramp and the climbing net and stuff. But because it's been such lovely weather, we've been able to get outside a lot more, so I folded that up behind the door for more space, but it does come out every day. This is his little bits and bobs basket, so toy phones, torches, watches, all sorts of things in there. And then this is our kind of physical, so balls, cones, hoops, bean bags, his little grabber and things, so things that we use for our sensory circuits, or just other physical kind of games. And then under the sofa is the scooter board and the wobble cushion. There's play mats with numbers on under the sofa, and what else is under the sofa? Oh, like the tent and tunnel and stuff. So again, all the kind of physical resources are all under the sofa and all away, because floor space is limited in here. But we are so lucky to have the space, and actually having a big floor space is amazing. So it means you can make big train tracks, or you never underestimate the amount of floor space that's beneficial for play, really. So yeah, I hope that you found this really useful, and I'll go and end off the video now. I hope that that was really useful for you, and that you really enjoyed kind of seeing what we've had out on our play shelves during February. Fingers crossed, I will be back at some point in March to show you the next rotation. If the boys ever let me pick up a camera, it is hard to find moments of spare time at the moment, but obviously loving being a mum of two, and bringing you content whenever I can. So yeah, make sure that you've liked and subscribed to the No One Play Space YouTube. And if you don't already, do go and check me out over on Instagram, which is at the No One Play Space, where we share more of our day-to-day life, different play activities and things. And if you're not already a Know and Play member, head over to www.theknowandplayspace.co.uk, where the Know and Play Space is all online. There is over 250 play ideas and activities that you can find over there. There is all of our new preschool guides. There's all of our printables and things. So some of the printables that you would have seen in this video today, they are over on my website, that as a member you can download for free, or you can just purchase individually. There's loads on the website, so if you haven't already gone and checked out the No Play Space online, then do. But yeah, hope you really enjoyed today. Fingers crossed I'll be back soon, and thank you for watching. Bye.